So welcome to Metal Tech Alley, a cluster of leaders, experts, and innovators who are driving new technologies and new products in the metallurgical, industrial recycling, and the IoT sectors, right here in Trail, British Columbia. This is a new show on Shaw TV, where we are highlighting some of the new and innovative technologies and businesses who are leading this charge, using and creating it right here in the Kootenays. Hi, I'm Terry Van Horn, Executive Director of Metal Tech Alley, and I'll be your host for the show today. I4C Innovation Centre is Canada's first Industry 4.0 Internet of Things hub and is bringing blockchain technology and industry together to improve processes, productivity, safety, and sustainability.
I4C Innovation is a hub for Industry 4.0 related companies. We basically look at two different groups. We have what we call our industry partners, which is those that we sell to, and then we have our technology partners, which are those that are part of our hub. They are all related to the Internet of Things, to the Industrial Internet of Things. Specifically in the Industrial Internet of Things, you're looking at things as they connect in an industrial environment and how they communicate with each other using Internet as the medium to communicate, and things and people also to connect to it. So they can be living or non-living items that are connected to that. And by that I mean, for example, if you're in a farm environment, you're looking at agri-tech, a cow can be connected because a cow can have a sensor and you may know the temperature of the cow, the location of the cow, and things like that. So that's why even living or non-living are part of the connection. So what we do is we bring other technology companies that bring services or products to the Industry Internet of Things that match one of our quadrants. And so basically the way we see Industrial Internet of Things is in quadrants. We have data acquisition, so those companies that relate to sensors, actuators, and things like that, and how you acquire the data. Data processing, which has to do with the actual processing of the data or the networking required to process such data. Then we have the data analytics for all of those that are putting together the data and then displaying it. And then the data visualization, which is when you get into more advanced AI and virtual reality, mixed reality, and things like that. So the technology companies that come here are part of one or of these quadrants or more, and they have products, they have grown, they have commercialized their products, but they haven't grown to the level they can go global or that they can go to large consortia bids, and so that's where we come in. First thing that people ask me, why are you going to Trail? It's so remote. And ultimately, I am a true believer that rural Canada can actually deliver more and better perhaps than certain central areas, and the reasons are a variety of them. You get better pricing for the industrial spaces in which you work. You get very interesting concentrations of talent and resources that you can bring in. Those that are not locally here, or that the colleges are not teaching the right trades or degrees for that, it's very easy for them to come because there's no competition when it comes to pricing, schooling, quality of life, and things like that in a very competitive environment in the type of jobs that they like. So if you were able to find the right type of job for you and live in this place, of course you would come here, right?
I was thinking to move to Canada for the past three years, but I didn't find a right place yet. And that time I found here. Basically, I come back to Brazil after, stay there for 10 days and come back again, open a company and starts to move the things, to move definitely to here. The challenge, it's that motivates me. And we have a lot of challenges in the industry nowadays. The things are always innovating. We are always having something new that could be done in a better way. that could use less energy or could get better results, and that attracts to me that compels me to do something new, to work hard on something that for me is not work, it's just what I like to do. I started to develop a sensor, an air quality sensor. That's the hardware part, and I developed the case. It's pretty simple so far, but the design of this case, I did it, and that one I printed on Midas. It's a partner of us. Also, I designed the hardware itself, how it's going to work. I learned a lot in this process, and I also started to develop the firmware. That's the software part of the device too. And one challenge I have, currently working, is to align this device with the blockchain technology. Bitcoin was the first application of the blockchain that got to the mainstream, but we can use the blockchain concept for other solutions. And in a simple way, basically, the way we are using blockchain is to create a source-proof database where the data is not modified by other parties, and that database can be shared between, just not for one company or team, but several teams. It's pretty good for sharing data, not even in one place, but we can share data with any country in the world, in any place. It is not a limit for that. And for the project I'm working with, I'm using this ability to connect the sensors to a blockchain that any other interesting party may have access.
We had the CEO and several of the VPs that came to a meeting at the Tech Commun Corporations, and the only visit they made was to I4C here to see the different companies that we had here and what we could offer to their company as far as solving problems. And they were quite impressed with some of the technologies that are here. They certainly didn't expect them in the middle of a small town in rural area. And we have everything from people that are doing networking to people that are doing blockchain to people that are doing processing and environmental sensors, water and wastewater sensors, and so that makes it a very interesting mix, because the big difference is that we are willing to work together to solve something for tech. Interestingly enough, 4 of us already have worked for tech in different projects. And we have no problem whatsoever getting together to come up with one integral solution that talks to each other. So I think that's part of also what is happening, that they're understanding that vendors are willing to collaborate. There's no limit to technology, that's for sure. I mean, technology has, I think historically, just in a different speed, has always been part of humans, and now it's just moves at such a fast pace. When it was the internet, before it was the Internet of Things, we had to change every 6 months to a year and learn a new language and learn a new technology and do things like that. Nowadays, you're looking at about 3 months to 6 months on change. So you always have to be learning, always have to be ahead of it. Where it's going is really the mix of how we're going to work humans and technology. This is what we have now to deal with, both from the ethical side of it, as well as from the actual work side of it. And I think those that are able to put together the right combination of that are going to be the businesses that thrive the most, because then you will always need humans too. We are a core integral part of the success of any business, and it will always be that way. And so I think what you need to do is going to be able to find what are those things that make that difference between the two things, and they will become eventually careers and new careers. And so for the young people that may be seeing something like this, it is about thinking beyond the box of the more traditional jobs that they understand and careers to what the future is going to be and how those careers will be modified.
ABC3D is solving a global plastic problem in a unique and innovative way right here in Metal Tech Alley. They are turning wood waste products into plastic used for 3D printing. And the good thing about British Columbia, there's no shortage of wood supply for ABC3D.
Advanced Biocarbon 3D is a company that converts wood chips into plastic and other advanced materials.
And they've been doing it right here in the Kootenays for a number of years. Advanced Biocarbon 3D, or ABC3D, has been perfecting the process of turning wood waste into usable, biodegradable plastic for over 15 years, with their plastic being used as filament for 3D printers.
I think it was a dislike of plastic and plastic waste around the planet, and seeing that something has to be done about it. And this is a technology that we think that will address the problem of plastic.
Currently, the company uses discarded wood, such as poplar trees, that are cut down anyways and not utilized.
True. We get it from waste wood products. Right now it's coming from poplar trees that are typically cut down in the forest and left in the forest because there isn't a market for them. And then we take those trees and create a market for them.
With so many objects being made from plastic these days, including being used in 3D printers, ABC3D decided to enter in the market with filament for those printers, the plastic that is used to create all 3D printed materials.
Well, our real strength is making plastics that are what are called a high performance plastic, so ones that are strong, highly heat resistant, moisture, those types of things. So things that if you want to build something that needs to be an engineered product, that's what we really can do for you. We can make single-use plastics, plastic bags and things like that, but that really isn't the real immediate strength for us. So that's where we want to head to right now, is target obviously the plastics that are most suited to what our strengths are.
The use of plastics has taken center stage, with so much of it ending up in our landfills. Not only does ABC3D use waste wood products, but the end product is biodegradable and will break down like any other piece of wood.
Well, I think the groundswell around around plastics is really affecting everyone. And you may have saw that it was in National Geographic. It was on the cover of National Geographic last month. And so people are really becoming aware of it. And so it's now the uptake is really tremendous. I mean, people say, wow, you can really do that with a bioplastic, something that's sustainable and I can put in my garden after the use, and it will not toxic, it's not toxic for my garden. It actually breaks down into compounds that are helpful and useful for our soil. It breaks down like a piece of wood does. So immediately we have the ears of many different levels, not just private individuals, but the large corporations. So coming from this area, from the Kootenays, not an issue at all. It's like a piece of wood. So what we do is we extract the resin from wood, the glue from wood, and we then take the rest of the wood that's left over and turn that into a polymer. And then we take the resin that we've extracted, the glue that we've extracted, and add it back to that polymer. And that gives it its strength and heat resistance and moisture barrier. So think about if you wanted to make a piston for your car out of plastic. Today, mostly you wouldn't be able to do that because it wouldn't have the heat resistance and strength. That's the type of plastic that we can make, plastics that are incredibly heat resistant and strong.
Being in the trail area and in Metal Tech Alley allows collaboration between other companies to focus on ways to expand and include metal products as well as plastic.
All the advanced materials, and metals of course are an advanced material, have some synergies between them. And as we go forward, we are exploring more and more of what those synergies are, and working with some of the innovative companies that we have here in the trail area, of course. And how can we integrate some of the properties that the metals have with the plastics and other advanced materials. And we talk about other advanced materials. The other materials that we mainly are making as well as carbon fiber. So
for more information on Advanced Biocarbon 3D, you can visit their website, advancedbiocarbon3d.com.
Our schools are always looking for innovative ways to integrate real-life experiences into school curriculum, and Mount Sentinel School is leading that charge in a new academy program that takes the technology of today into the students' hands to ensure our students are well situated and educated for the working in the digital age.
Academy PM Performance and Media is a interdisciplinary, multi-age, cross-curricular learning academy for up to 30 students. We have 27 this year, and they cover a curriculum of Law 12, English, Design for Media, and Performance for Media, and theater production this year. And so all our projects, we've abandoned the timetable. We don't use regular schedules. We don't use regular classrooms. Like if you look around the room around me, it's empty. There's no desks. There's a couple tables and a floor. Students work on projects that integrate all different aspects of those 5 courses, as well as passion projects in anything that they want to do.
It gives us a lot of time to focus on things that we want to do specifically. So there's a lot of flexibility as well as a lot of directed stuff that allows us to be flexible within that. So it's kind of a new way of fitting a standard classroom that's worked really, really well.
My co-teacher, Heather Shippett, and I saw the kids coming. And we sort of looked around and said, we don't have a group of kids that fit into the, like, say, traditional boxes career-wise. And we said we need to design something for them, because she was seeing kids in the drama program, and we looked around and saw that it was the same kids that were in my digital art class that wanted to learn 3D printing, that wanted to do all that different stuff. So we designed the program for them. And also we've both been looking around for a few years about how do we sort of dive feet first into BC's new curriculum, as well as how do we make a real impact on a deeper impact on a group of kids, and this without a doubt has turned out to be an excellent way to do that.
Well, I'm really into digital art and film and animation, and I want to go into it as a career. And I had been taking a digital art class here called Vamped previously, and I knew that this was going to be able to incorporate my digital art skills as along with theater, which I also really enjoy, and technology and law and English. So I knew it was going to be something really valuable, and I wanted to try out something that was different than the standard classroom.
This program has definitely been some of the most fun that I've ever had in a school. I love just being able to be with the same group of people and just working with these people that I know and that I get to know throughout the year, and I've learned so much in this at the beginning of the year. I didn't know how to use Adobe Illustrator, and now I've designed quite a lot of stuff through it.
Ever since grade 6, when I was in the school play, drama's kind of been like everything to me. Not everything, but it's been a huge part of my life, and I really love it in every way. I want to be an actor when I'm older, and when I heard the Academy was coming out and that it's going to be specifically focusing a semester on these type of things, I mean, it's an opportunity I had to take. So yeah, it was kind of like a no-brainer for me. I'd say that I've probably gotten more out of this semester than I have out of like 2 years combined out of anything else. It's really fantastic. There's a lot of new skills that I learned that don't necessarily have to do with acting, but as well just like doing like Illustrator artwork and media, and we had law. Yeah, law was a very interesting subject.
We have these things called passion projects, which are sort of what we do throughout the year. That's what we want to do. So some people are like starting blogs or making artwork, and I published a book through the passion project. I wrote it, designed the cover, did quite a bit of the editing. My other classmates did reviews of it, and the teacher, and I published it myself through Amazon. It'll actually be out in
I think a lot of them we're leaning this direction, and I think what we've done is given them opportunity to explore and figure out this is the way I want to go. It's a mix of really big group projects and their own individual projects, and finding that balance, but also having the power in our timetable to be able to give kids this huge, big assignment, and if they're overwhelmed, being able to walk it back and take the time to, reapproach it, give them some breathing space when they're overwhelmed, and really getting to know your kids, to know how we can keep them basically gas pedal to the floor. One of the things that all the kids, and I especially, walked away with going to industry and post-secondary and all these places is the question of how is storytelling going to change in the next few years with the advent of artificial, mixed reality, virtual reality, all these different things. And so we're going to, the first thing I've really planned is we're going to kick off the year with an exploration of how do we tell stories and how are we going to tell stories. And that sort of taps into your history, your English, all those different qualities. And then we already have connections in the Lower Mainland for how we're going to do that. We have connections here to work with industry to do that. And we've already got some pretty crazy ideas for an augmented reality project we're going to do in our school. We're going to turn our school into a hide-and-go-seek event, which is going to be fun.
Well, next year's Academy is going to be a lot different than this year's Academy, because what they do is they're trying to change up the curriculum for the Academy so that people who have previously taken it can take it again and get completely new stuff out of it. This year we focused on a play, a massive play that we did. Next year we're going to be focusing on making a film or movie. More of the acting for film side, which is what I want to go into, so that's obviously why I went in. As well as this year we learned law, and next year I believe we're learning something else. I can't quite remember what it was. History.
Industry is calling for people. There is a need, there is a market for these skills, and more than necessarily technical skills, it's the group work environment skills that people are really, really after, and how do they respond to stress, and how do they work in a team, and how do they plan, and how do they time manage, and all those different things. So they're really excited what we're doing. We've heard more than once, how come this isn't happening in Vancouver or the Lower Mainland? And we told them, you got to come to South Slocan for that.
When you start a new technology business, you could literally build your company virtually anywhere. But with some of the best hiking and biking and the best fishing, Don Fresky knew when he was starting Phoenix Advanced Materials and pioneering new metallurgical technologies that the trail region was the perfect place for him.
So Phoenix Advanced Materials is a ultra high purity metals manufacturer. So what we do is we take what we consider impure feed from Tech Metals and other companies and actually purify it down to a finite level. So we take it down from a 4 nines, which is 99.99% pure, all the way to a 6 nines and 7 nines level, which is 99.99999% pure, very pure. A lot of these metals are used in the semiconductor business, so we combine, like our indium is one of our products, so it gets combined with antimony to form indium antimonide, which is a semiconductor for focal plane arrays, so for heat detection. So anything that requires a heat signature detection, that material can read it. We also provide materials for the solar industry. So cadmium, tellurium, and indium are all 3 components for different solar cell manufacturers, and we provide those to the solar industry. The reason we set up in Trail is mainly because we love to live here. I mean, it's a beautiful area. You can do it all here. So really, when we started Firebird, it was having Tech Metals, and at the time, Kamenko, right up on the hill. So all these byproducts come out of Tech. So indium, tellurium, antimony, you name it, that metal is produced up at Tech. And it's a byproduct or even a waste stream. And we know how to take advantage of that. So we're metallurgical experts. We have expertise in chemical and metallurgical engineering. So we take those materials and we can play around with them and turn them into a value-added product. We could be anywhere in the world, and we've been asked to be in Vancouver and Kelowna and California and all close to our clients. But this is the place we want to be. I mean, where else can you actually do a fishing show? You know, we have a friend of mine who's helped co-found Firebird. We started a fishing show, and we have that going. It's been the longest running fly fishing show on national TV for 25 years now. We can do that here. I can ski in the day and go fishing later on in the afternoon. I mean, it's crazy, the opportunities. And that's why we want to be here. Lifestyle is number 1. So really everything's based around Metal Tech Alley. I mean, Metal Tech Alley initiative is beautiful because that's where we are. We are the metal tech industry, and Phoenix is a perfect fit for that. So everything that tech provides, all those byproducts, anything that we can access in the area that can deal with metals, that's what we have here. We have to take advantage of that, and Phoenix is one of those companies that takes advantage of the metals provided. I think the biggest thing is that vertical integration, as we call it in the business. We have all these high-end materials that are used in solar and semiconductors, so why wouldn't we be attracting those companies to come, like Mia Sole and actually solar panel manufacturers, to come to the area and actually start using our materials right here and building those panels? And same with semiconductor companies. We should bring them all here and let them develop with our products right in the area. I think they would take advantage of it.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. In our next episode, we'll be learning more about smart technologies in vending machines, as well as how a local entrepreneur innovated a new idea right here in Red Mountain Ski Hill. Stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you next episode.